Well, good morning. I'm so glad to be here. This is the music that would play while I was studying Awakening Your Light Body. Sinea Rubin and Wayne Packer used it a lot. And the musician, Michael Hammer, was in the class as well. And he really captured the sensations and the consciousness of what we were studying and awakening your light body. And it's all about consciousness, all about the energy and following the energy to different places and different conditions and using the energy in our bodies. Good morning, Bob Banner. You're early. Thank you for being here. Delighted to see you. I hope you have a question. I'm going to make sure that I've got myself lined up with this. What we're doing here. It takes a minute for it to show up on the laptop as well as on the phone. And that's where I can get your questions most clearly. I am so delighted to be here with you. So, in studying awakening your light body, it really goes through several energy systems and opens up our the ability to change the state of your being, really. Not in a runaway kind of way, but like acknowledging it or like an expand to include way. That's my favorite way of working with the energies. Expand to include. You got some resistance, getting some flack from somebody, just expand to include. Good morning, Marie Lane. How are you? I've been following Marie. I've been following a couple of astrologers, Pam Gregory on YouTube. Very, very comprehensive astrologer, and she explains things very well. I mean, it doesn't make sense to me. I don't have all the knowledge, but this is conjunct to that, sextile to the other planets, and I don't know the components or the major characteristics of the signs and planets and so forth. But I really like the information I get from her, as well as Tanya Gabrielle. She calls herself wealth astrologist. So I figure that's pretty comprehensive. And but there's a lot going on. And the other night, I was at a birthday party, and people were saying there were the most earthquakes around the entire planet ever recorded. So I figured that is going to be significant. And there are so many um, solar flares and M class, X class, whatever flares, and that's shaking up the Schumann resonance, and that changes the way the Earth feels to us, and how we feel in relationship to the Earth. And so it was interesting this morning. It's had us really tune into the planet Earth and bring our soul's light in all the way into our bodies and tune into the planet Earth and kind of have a give and take with the planet Earth so that we are adding to her, but not just taking from her. No. What a how are you? I love you. I'm so glad that you're here. I hope you have a question for me. This is a great place to get an answer. Hi, Marco. Wow, yes, hello. Thank you for saying hello to everyone, Marco. You're so sweet. I really appreciate that. He's really a kind, exceptional person. And I'm lucky to have him in my phone. He helps me with all my posts and stuff like that. And it's really good. So given that we're having unusual Schumann frequencies, and lots of solar flares. There's Tree Allen too. Oh, yay. Hi, hon. How are you? Um, Given that we're having solar flares, changes to the Schumann frequencies, and our own political, environmental effects, this is a really active time in life. And so the more that we can become centered within ourselves, really take it inside and be in touch with the inside parts and the connection that we have with our own soul and with the divine at large, and be in that, the easier life is going to be. Kathy Gill Wrestler, I haven't seen you in ages. How lovely. I've got quite a group showing up here today. I'm so happy. And this makes me so happy to see everybody and names I really know. I'm really glad that you're here. So I'm really hoping some people have some good questions. I love questions. There are no dumb questions. The guides say, if it's something on your mind, they want to address it. They want to help you find peace, make peace with whatever it is that's going on. And they want to be of assistance to us. I opened my book this morning to one of the chapters, sort of in the middle. It's the one called Going South, which is really like the guides talking to me when I was feeling really crazy and like I was just going south. So they had to kind of talk me off the cliff. And chapter 22 was going south. Um, and so I read that chapter this morning to get my center and get organized for the two live videos I'm doing today. And I'm really glad I did, because it just let me know. They say that they have already spread a golden light, safety net underneath us. So if we feel like we're dropping, uh, can't find our center, we just going crazy, and all our energy is really disorganized, then they're here to help us. And you can ask the Akashic beings of light, or your masters, teachers, or mothers, or the divine. Even better, go direct, go to the divine. Have a relationship that's built with inside you with the divine. And the whole reason my guides, all the time, all these years that I've been channeling since 1988, so that's 36 years I've been channeling, they have always said our purpose is to help you align and connect with your soul so that you have an expanded relationship with the divine. Because the more we align with our soul, the more we are aligned with the divine. So, it's all right to go nuts. Sometimes it's what's needed. And there's a lot of nutsy information and activity going on in our world. So, it's it kind of makes sense that that happens. So sometimes we have to, just say hello to that craziness and inside us and welcome it into the bunch. Like my guides say, expand to include, expand to include. Somebody's got to put a question up. Man, oh man, oh man. I would love to answer some questions. And the energies are, they're here, but they're also really pure. And I think the purity and the lack of background, that rattle and the distraction, I think the lack of that changes how we are aware of the energies that are present. And so if you're experiencing a lot of rat-a-tat-tat or increased mind activity, it might just be a response to the fact that the energies are getting purer as we go along. Somebody asked me at a party the other night, um, they're they said the government is releasing all the information they have about UFOs and making that present and available for all of us. Now, I do not specialize in the UFOs at all. And so sometimes these questions are like, uh-oh, I'm in deep water here. I don't know what I'm doing. And then I just listen to what I'm being shown or what I'm being hearing or the sensation inside that I'm feeling in my body. And that's part of the answer and try to put that answer into words. And they when he asked, what's that going to do to the present situation or how can we work with it, the answer was, it's a lot of good pure energy and it's going to allow a lot of old stuff to just peel off of us and be released. So it's a great time to be released. The release of truth, as we're seeing it happen day to day here in at least here in the United States, there's just stuff going on everywhere. The release of truth is of benefit to us, and we, we can release our truth. We can also be in that truth and have that truth be alive in us. Ooh, I love seeing all of these wonderful people here. I'm hoping to get some questions. And sometimes the internet doesn't show or Facebook doesn't necessarily show your questions really fast. And that complicates my job trying to do a live and to see the questions that you have posted. So I refresh and I look again and all that kind of stuff. Um, Share Renee Sievers here too. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's wonderful. This is a great group. My goodness. My goodness. Um, so they did this morning on the guided meditation. I couldn't even get the phone to work. It was glitching and going in, going out, going in, going out, couldn't stay connected. Um, so I couldn't even do the live directly on Facebook, but I did continue recording it on Zoom, which is my practice. And then I take the Zoom recording, post that on YouTube, and then I can connect you to the YouTube version on Facebook. All right, Kathy says, good work, Kathy came up with a good question. What is the best or quickest way to hear messages from the guides? Um, let me just see. For you, it's to go into your heart and and because you have to get out of your mind when we're listening to the guide's message because it seats most clearly in the heart. For me, I open the back of the head and neck and the upper shoulders so that their energy can come in from behind that way, and then they can get right into my heart, to my throat center, my mouth, my brain, and they can access pretty much everything that's going on in me and use all of my energy sensing abilities, my physical ability, as in what is my body registering? What are there a memory they're kicking up? Is there some words or a phrase that they're showing me? When I ask yes or no questions, they're really clear. Like it just comes up like almost printed and or yes, yes, and the energy goes up. So to you want to connect through your heart because it really is a heart-centered activity because all the useful messages, and I talk about this in my book, um, especially in the chapter on your spiritual heart, all useful messages that last through time, that stand the test of time, are born on a core frequency or a carrier frequency of love. And so sometimes what my guides have to do with me, and they did this a lot while I was writing this book, you know, they're going to bring up these topics that were like, oh my God, that's above my pay grade. You sure you don't want to get somebody else to do this? Because I may not be your gal. And they're like, just, that's fine. You just keep typing. And so I just did. I just kept listening to the words and writing about the pictures I was being shown. And so the more you're in your heart and you're picking up those core frequencies of love, and it's sort of like around that core frequency of love are the words or the body sensations. And your job is to speak those out loud or write them down if you're doing automatic writing. And try not to let your mind go, well, that can't be it. Or, how do I know that's true? It's all right. Your mind's going to go pick up some dirt and want to get in the middle of the mix. It's just the brain mind wanting to have, it likes to be first. It likes to get attention. So listening to your guides is a practice, and it takes skill, but the more you do it, the more it works. And the more you act on the messages you get from your guides, Kathy, the more messages you will get, because then they go, oh, we got a player here. We got somebody who's really serious about this. So one of the things you can do is get my book. It's both in print and on audiobook, and work with that, because my book teaches you how to open your Akashic records, and then then you read the material in the chapter, and then it asks you interactive questions, and you write on those interactive questions with your Akashic records open, so you're connected to your soul and the divine, and you start um, receiving the information. And writing on those questions really teaches you what you have learned, what you're receiving from these open records exercises and chapters on particular topics. This is 40 chapters. This is a teaching manual. It is very thorough. And if you get it on audiobook, I think that would be easier, because you can stop the play and listen to the question and kind of check in with yourself and really tune in. And then when you're ready to go on to the next question, you start the play up again. I'm working on a companion journal. My beloved stepdaughter is helping me create a companion journal that has all the questions written in one place. And so you've got a whole journal with your notes. And it's a great combo to order together. And we hope to get that up very soon. But I can't say when soon. Very soon. Let's see. Let me ask see if Kathy's soul has any other messages for her. For you, Kathy, you want to really be connected with your soul. And there's an exercise in this book, or you can go on my YouTube channel and find the ones that talk about embodying your soul's light. Embodying your soul's light, because you have a bigger trust in your own soul, and that allows you then to bring in the bigger energy of your guides or the divine. And, when you learn how to open your records in my book, you start connecting with your masters, your teachers, and your loved ones in your Akashic records. And this is like your spiritual advisory team, as well as the Akashic beings of light and the divine, because they're all part of that book. This book. Anyway, so go get into a state and bring in your soul's light, ask your question, and see where your soul goes to get the information. Do they go to divine? How does your soul send the information to you? Um, okay, so I'm going to go on to Nora's question. Annie, how can I do my soul mission properly? Well, the fact that you say properly indicates to me that you have a little judgment about how you're doing your soul mission and you think you're not doing it properly. Um, Thank you, Kathy. I think you'll like it, really. It's very empowering. Um, but Nora, so let go of judgment. You know, whenever I'm in judgment of myself, when, when I'm in judgment of someone else, or I'm comparing myself to someone else, I lose. I never match up. I I don't make the grade. I can't get there. Somebody else is always better at it than me, you know. So that comparison, which is a sneaky form of judgment, my guides say, um, is is harmful. It's like poor self-talk. It's limiting. It keeps the ceiling on. So, so I think the question that you're really asking is, how am I doing my soul mission properly? And that is more key. You have been, in some ways, forced into situations in your family life to accept people who are different than you, and you've had to let your heart grow and reach around and open and be in the love of them, regardless of what seems weird or different or odd or such a stretch. It's a stretch. It's a hard thing to do, to really allow yourself to love people as they are and as they are wanting to be recognized. So let me just go to soul mission, your soul purpose. Well, first off, you are one of the most empowered persons and driven persons that I've ever met. Your work, your businesses, the people you employ, the things that you do with your family, the love you have for your husband and he has for you, all of this feeds into your soul purpose. So it's not as if you're just sort of going, oh, what's my purpose now? You've actually been fulfilling it all along the way. And so, you know, I often open my Akashic records in the morning to get my directions for today from my Akashic beings of light, or my masters, teachers, and loved ones in my Akashic records, because that puts me in a state of being, embodying my soul's light and consciousness, and connected to my masters, teachers, and loved ones, the Akashic beings of light, and the divine. You know, so it lines everything up in my Akashic records. And then it's like a staff meeting. And we sit down and we talk about, okay, what am I to do today? Give me some pictures, some words, you know, is there anything important to accomplish on this day? And sometimes I get really clear messages. Sometimes it's sort of like, okay, I'm not getting directives. I'm not getting do this, you know, and so I just have to go about the day in as organized energy and consciousness as I can be in. Now, Nora, your skills are, especially in the world of energy work and um, perception, um, your skills are really, really good. You and I know this. I've done enough readings for you. I've really felt your energy, and I know that you know how to work in the Akashic records, and you know how to do a lot of other things. Um, And I really like you looking at your question from the perspective of how am I doing my soul mission properly? You know, what about me is organized? What about me is really expressing my gifts, talents, and abilities and the things that my soul set me up to do? Your soul set you up to connect with all the people in your family, you know, multi-generational, um, all the people that you hire and fire from your businesses, and all the customers that you work with. You know, you are really a good connector. And you do that so calmly, instinctively, so casually, so easily. It just comes naturally to you. Um, so as a connector, make sure that you have the connection between yourself, your soul, and the divine. And then you go out in the world and express yourself, whether it's in your store, in the company that you have that's separate from the store, you know, all of that. Um, and it is about expressing love, you know, and your love helps people. It helps people every day. Your love and care and your foresight, your instinctive way of doing things on a bigger and bigger level. So it's more bounty for everybody, more abundance for everybody. This is really, really good. Thank you, Kathy Gilreisler. I'm glad you think it's awesome. I really think it's awesome too. Um, Let me just look and see, Nora, if there's anything else I'm supposed to tell you. Your guides and your Akashic beings, I mean, your masters, teachers, and loved ones want you to know that they love you and they are aware of the things that you're going through, that you came through, the health issues really, really well. You dove into them, you followed directions, you brought yourself through that experience easily and I wouldn't say effortlessly because being sick is no picnic. Believe me, I know. It's just no picnic. And that was a time where you could really bring yourself inward and bring all of your attention tentacles back into your center and center yourself inside yourself in a way that's really useful to yourself. And that grows some new neural networks that are open to other information. And your guides are aware of how hard you're working at this. And so they're even saying, ease up, you know, you're so driven and you're so focused on doing all this work and being so perfect at it. Let go of the perfectionist. Just tell her to sit down in a corner somewhere and take a nap or something, you know, not too much perfectionism. It comes naturally to you. And when you feel that your connections with others come naturally to you, and it doesn't take a lot of second thinking or second guessing yourself, you know, then you know you're in the right zone. You're in the right consciousness of your soul's mission, and you're executing it correctly. This is the thing, folks, not just Nora, but everyone on this live. The game of life is set up, it's rigged for us so that we can win and so that we can win with the least amount of effort. Now, here in the United States, we are driven to work really, really hard. And we've got this picture of people who are successful and they work like 27 hours a day and they don't blink and they never have problems and they just have they're so focused on the goal that they're going to produce and they produce it. My experience is I need balance. I need to play sometimes. I need sometimes to be off duty and not on mission, not on purpose. Maybe it's go to a concert. Tree Allen and I went to hear music last week, and it was lovely. It was just a fabulous experience, and the divine had its hands in it and got us seats up front, right next to the stage, first row. I mean, that never happens. So, I think that was Tree's good vibe. Anyway, but I need balance. I need to get exercise. I need to have time off. I need to just be able to calm down and perhaps read a little bit. And or meditate. That is a gift I give myself. I don't always like to have to give that gift to myself, but boy, does it pay in spades. It's so good. Maybe it's good for, I need to balance myself by going out for a walk in nature so I can remember that I'm just a part of the whole. I'm just a cog in the wheel. I'm just a point in the string of light of beings that are all connected, like in a spider web, connected up with all of you and with all the animals, plants, minerals, bugs, birds, all the everything, the soil on this planet. My guides, and I must say, when I was getting early in sobriety, my sponsor said, well, Annie, I hear you talking about you're working on this and you're working on that and you're working on something else. She says, why don't you go out and have some fun? I was like, okay, I worked on that. I went after that. So, but really, it's okay to have pleasure in life, to have fun, to do what makes you feel good, to be around people that make you feel good. It's really, really okay. Um, let's see. I'm gonna refresh my page and see if we got any more questions. This is kind of a sluggish or awkward process, but I just love it that we're here together online and inquiring about how we can live from our soul connection. And I love the question, how can I do my soul mission properly? I'm always asking that, like, what's on purpose for me today, And there's like periods when I'm really focused on being on purpose and I'm really disciplined. And there are other times when it's like, you're gonna have to just wait, Annie. You don't get to be driven or fully focused. Uh, and you don't, or there's not a lot of clients, so there's a lot of open in my schedule. And then I just have to wait. I just have to do other things. So I like this month of July, very slow for me. I've been exercising, being on the rower for like 30 to 37 minutes a day on that thing and really getting good exercise from it. I've been taking care of my vegetable garden, and I've been taking care of my mother, who's down with COVID, and doing a few things for her. Just like I can kind of look up from my focusedness and see what's going on in the world and see what's fun. So Nora says the guides are right. I'm going to take a nap, stop overthinking, and being perfect. Thank you, Annie. That's right. Really. Yeah, you get to have fun and take care of yourself and enjoy the process of caring for yourself. That is so perfect. That is so perfect. I love it that you wrote that in there, Nora. That is so, so good. Perfect summary. Let's see. Kathy, did you have any other questions? Or Karen Shine is here. Would you like to ask a question, Karen? Um, I'm going to refresh the page one more time again. I love it when people write comments in, or if you hear something that hits home for you, please put it in the comments. You know, your questions are really helpful to other people because everybody's kind of living in the same energy soup and planetary alignments or misalignments or vibrations that are present, and we're all really trying to relax and enjoy our lives. We're really trying to be on purpose, and the guides say even reminding yourself, I'm going to take a nap, stop overthinking, and stop being a perfectionist. That's a spiritual message right there. She gets it, and that's one of the things that serious illness has taught me over the years to listen to, you know, take care of myself. And that's where that balance comes in. Um, uh, oh, Kathy, I'm going to put the book stuff in. I'm going to see if I can go get that right now. Do, do, do. See if I can put that up right now because it's in here. I'm going to put some links in. I've got the paperback on Ingram Sparks, which is one of the suppliers of the like the indie bookstores, and indie bookstores love it. Love having purchases from there. It's also up on Amazon, of course. And let's see. And then edit, paste. Here are all the connections, the links, and they're all the audiobooks are up on a variety of indie places. So I'm not up on Audible yet. That's like a whole nother project. It's like the first one I wanted to get up on, and it seems to be the last one I'm gonna get everything up there on. But there's lots of other sources for buying the book. So Amazon, Publish Drive, ta-da. Apple Books, Storytel, Rakuten, Kobo, that sort of slash, or they could be two different things or the same. I think they own one another. Libro FM, audiobooks.com, Hoopla, they all carry the audiobook. And I think the audiobook is worth investing in one way or another because I narrated the book so I could channel the chapters because chapters are channeled by different beings. Sometimes it's my guide Anubis, who I've been channeling since 1988. And Anubis is really magnanimous and loving and sometimes really quite humorous. Um, and uh, and the Akashic beings of light channel some of the chapters, most of the chapters from the Akashic beings of light, but some of the chapters are channeled by the great creatress. And that's the name the Akashic beings of light use for the divine, the supreme divine feminine. Now, I don't care what name you use for the supreme divine, that you use the name that works for you. I got no attachment to whether or not everybody goes with the great creatress or not. I was instructed to use that name. I felt comfortable with it. I like really switching over this allegiance to from kind of God as a he to God as she. That makes me feel good. That makes me feel empowered. That makes me feel included, because God as a he makes me feel disempowered and unincluded. Marie Lynn says, thank you for reminding us to make time for fun in our lives. Oh, amen. I think that's so important. I forget to do that, it's literally, I have to make a point of it. Kathy says, I've been in political flow, but it's swinging spiritually. Well, in my world and from my point of view, everything is energy. Everything starts as energy. And so even the politics, they are just another snapshot of where energy is lopsided or misaligned, or there is too much them against us or us against them, too much duality. And then again, I get to expand to include. I mean, this is the nature of life. We live on a land in the land of duality, and it's a really great skill to be able to blend the two, or at least put my arms around both opposites. Yes, no, right, wrong, you, me, good, bad, expand to include. They all live on this planet. It's all energy. And I can take my consciousness and make it big enough and large enough to include both. And all the choices in between those opposites, because there are lots of choices in between the opposites that we can utilize, we can tap into. And so my sense is the politics, it's like a big show. It's like a big, big show. And, we think it's going to upset our lives hugely. But I know that as a spiritual being, whether I live or die, my soul is eternal. And I am evolving and my soul is evolving. And as my soul evolves, I evolve. And as I evolve, my soul evolves. And so this is what the bigger picture is. We think we're threatened. They want that. That's somebody else's control over me. So somebody else's fear mongering. I don't have to buy into it. It's one perspective. It's not the only perspective. It's not all perspectives. You can ask Kathy Gill Ressler, like, what is the spiritual perspective of the political thing that you've been involved in? Okay, that's a great question. And how do you fit in this picture? And what's your purpose? And what would make you happy in staying involved in that? What makes you unhappy about staying involved in that? Or do you need to add in something, a third, fourth element in order to really kind of get the whole view? Let's see, have I? Okay, Nora says, am I giving my gifts, talents, and abilities to the world in a way I'm doing now? Oh, yes, you bet. Rebecca Donald's here. Yay. I was thinking about you the other day. But Nora, of course you are. And that's the thing. The stuff that comes most naturally to us, that is like the ground of our being, it's the background noise we don't even hear. That's our soul in action. We are really being steered by our soul and our soul's purposes all the time. It's just so built in. It's so in the design of our physicality and the design of our connectedness, spiritually and otherwise, that it hardly seems special. And yet Would you, when you ask someone else, have your gifts, talents, and abilities been of use to others? They would probably say, oh my God, yes, absolutely, absolutely. Now, I still have, in my world, I still have character defects. I still, have ideas of how I could be more perfect or better or, more giving or, work a little later or harder or stay focused a little bit more. But you know what? I've also learned that there's a time when there's a lot of activity in one area and things are getting done and like the moment is here, that energy is finally coming through. I mean, it's taken me 7 months after I got my book up on Amazon to get it up on Ingram Sparks, which is where the indie bookstores love Ingram Sparks. They don't want to have anything to do with Amazon because they see Amazon as the enemy and that Amazon is taking away all their business. So, to be good with all the indie bookstores and to market my book to the indie bookstores, I got to be up on Ingram Sparks. There have been so many stoppages, so many slowdowns, so many obstacles to get over. And, some days I would just like hit an obstacle and go, I can't face this. I don't have it. I can't deal with it today. So I would wait and then I'd go back after it few days later, a week later, maybe some little piece of knowledge would drop into place, so, it's that way. Look, Laura, for the moments where you really feel you can bring your gifts and talents to the world in a bigger way. Sometimes it's a short little moment. Maybe it's just a couple of lines of wisdom or even just a piece of encouragement to another human being, a family member, something along the lines of, I like that saying, I learned this from Al-Anon. You're a smart person. You know how to take care of these things. You know what to do, or you'll figure it out, and so not to worry, to know that you are figuring it out as you go along. You are making it happen. Chris Brasadi is here too. Hi, honey bunch. A reminder that life is a process. Oh, don't you know? And it's so true. I mean, I'm just at this on this page, the page called July 31st or something, whatever today's date is. 2024. It's a little different than where I was in July 24th, 1589 or 1642. It's those things change, and that's just fine. And so are other people are in their process. So we give ourselves a break, we give them a break, we all doing our best just to try and keep it together and be useful here and be the best we can. Sometimes we're not that good. I'm sort of mediocre, right? Well, that's what's happening that day. Doesn't mean it's going to be forever. You know what I mean? So let's see. I'm hoping I've gotten to all the questions. I try to get them up. Oh, Chris Brasadi said divine timing. Amen. And there's a chapter in this book on awaiting divine timing as well, which is very useful. And it helps make distinctions between when I'm operating on self-will or divine will. Chapter 29, awaiting divine timing. And there's so much covered in this book. I love it. I had so much fun reading it. And like, this came through me, or I don't remember parts of it. And oh my gosh, that's really good. I'm surprised. It's like it's really surprising to me. And Chris Brusati was one of my beta readers, so she got a good look. She got to read everything first before we edited it, or took out about 10 chapters. There's 40 chapters now. I think to begin with, I had 52. That's a lot of no, 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 stuff that just didn't fit. Chris Brusati says, I recommend this book. Oh, honey bunch. I recommend Chris Brusati too. She is an awesome masseuse. She's a grief counselor. She's a Reiki master. I mean, a super duper Reiki master, whatever level. I don't know what the Reiki levels are, but she knows a lot. Diane Dobson's here with us. Hi. Chris Brusati is worth knowing, and you can be friends with her on Facebook, and she's such a stand-up person. She's so good, and she always makes me laugh, and she's always looking for the bright side of difficult situations. She's got some experience. She says, Chris also says, and do the processes. There are 13 open Akashic records guided processes in this book. And so you can read it, if you buy the paperback, you can read them here. They're woven into all the chapters. And you can also get them on the audiobook and really just close your eyes and be in the process. Pretty amazing. And those processes really teach you how to work in your Akashic records, how to ask your masters, teachers, and loved ones in the Akashic records for information or advice or direction. And really, it's set up so we can win. It's really weird to think about it, that this whole deal is rigged so we can win. And it's like the more I relax and the more I trust divine timing, or let the divine lead me, or follow directions that my masters, teachers, and loved ones, or the Akashic beings of light suggest. If I do that, my life gets better. So anyway, I'm really glad that all of you have been here and are sharing this information and receiving what's available. Tickle pink. Good old Facebook, 17 comments, I'm seeing 4. 21 comments I'm seeing. Just a few. Oh my goodness. Well, folks, thank you for working with me here. Thank you for bringing your energy and your love here. Thank you for your honesty and sharing your questions with the world. It's a weird thing. Questions, we're not brought up to have questions. We're brought up to have answers. So it's kind of weird for us to stand in the question. But when we stand in the question, so many things become possible. So I love your questions. Love them, love them. All right, folks. I think that's it for today, and I honor your process. I dignify the path that you're on with respect, and I feel like I'm in such good company with all of you. Thank you so much. All right, talk to you later. Okay. Oh dear. Dun, 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 dun. I'm trying to get my computer to let me shut down the the Zoom, and I can't get to it. Heavens to Murgatroyd. Well, I'm gonna keep clicking out of some of these things. And I'd never get here. Have a great day.